Make sure I get the microphone.
Steve's asking if we have sound. Test. Mics are on, guys. Tell them mics are on.
Mics are hot. Good evening and welcome to the Spalding County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. It is Monday, February 6th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner Gwen Flowers Taylor from District 1 to deliver the invocation, and then ask Commissioner Rita Johnson from District 3 to lead us in the Pledge of the Flag.
If you'll join me in prayer. Father God, we come to you this evening in great thanksgiving and gratitude for allowing us to just wake up this morning and to have breath. We are in the midst of a struggle. We're in the midst of a storm, but you've guided our commissioners, our other leaders, our entire community to help us to figure out how we can move forward. It is only by your grace and mercy that these things happen in this community. I ask you to be at this meeting tonight, to give us discernment, to ask us for patience and ask us for understanding to take care of the business of Spalding County and the Spalding County Board of Commissioners. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
If you would allow me to do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include a new item number 1 under new business. Consider the approval for the Flint Mill Estates Phase 2 final plat. The final plat consists of 23 lots located with the R1 single-family district.
All right, I have a
I'd
motion.
like to second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you. For those of you that are not familiar with and haven't been here in a while, the 5 commissioners for the Spalding County are on my left. Our county attorney is on my right. What you see on the screen up there is exactly what's shown to us as a part of transparency, so that we don't see something that you're not seeing. If you've there's a number of times when you're going to hear some people talk and everything else. If you're going to have private conversations, please step outside. And at this time, I'd also request that you silence your cell phones so that they don't disrupt the proceedings. At this time, item number 4, presentations and proclamations. Ms. Cindy Jones, President of the Griffin Spalding Chamber of Commerce, has requested an opportunity for the county to receive and acknowledge donations from industries who work within the Spalding County or do business with Griffin and Spalding County residents. These donations are to assist in the recovery from damage that occurred during the recent tornadoes that hit our community and to support those citizens who were affected. Ms. Jones, please come forward to the microphone. Thank you. And welcome back.
Thank you. We have had several corporate donations made to the Spalding County Tornado Relief Fund. Those funds are being managed through the Collaborative Authority. So those should know that the funds are not being received by the county or by the city or by the Chamber of Commerce. We're just the receiving agent to help facilitate the funds going into the community so they can be flowed back out into the community properly. So we have 3 different groups that are here with us tonight that have made significant donations that would like to show you guys what they're doing. So if we want to have Halpern come up, Halpern Enterprises, and could I ask the commissioners to come down, and EMA, SBA folks to come in and begin on the picture?
Come on up and get in front. Get your picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in front.
Stand in front of the check.
Okay? Commissioners, why don't we just, I think we're.
Yeah, if y'all just hang on a minute, y'all stay up here. Now, if we could have the Grand Lodge representatives that would like to be in the photo. This might take us a minute. We've got a room full, so if y'all want, those that want to come on.
All those, come on. This is the time. You
Come on,
all
let's do it.
did a great thing for us, and we want to make sure you have an opportunity.
So for y'all to be able to see this donation.
Get everybody kind of go past the tour.
Come on around, you gotta get back behind the picture and centered on the crest. So,
I know you have to go to the back of the room.
keep coming, keep coming. And if you can't, DeAndre, hold your hand up. If you can't see DeAndre, he can't see you with the camera. So if there's some order that's supposed to be done with you all, please get in that order now.
Glenn, I want you to get closer
Everybody's
into,
squeezed in
So-
tight.
to the check.
Clay is a gentleman right behind you. I cannot see him. Okay, there we go.
We can get tighter if we have
No,
to.
you're good.
Okay.
Hold on. He won't be still. Okay. Right behind Clay.
Right behind Clay. Clay, look this way.
We're trying to get organized.
The person to your right, you can't see him.
Right behind you, Clay. Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody smile.
All right. Anybody else that's got to take pictures? This is the time.
Thank you.
No, other way around. Thank you all for what you've done. Oh, man. There are people out there who think you all are angels. You may not believe that, but there are. That is exactly right. Thank you. This is the fun stuff.
This is the fun stuff. We have one more. And we have one more from the Atlanta Gaslight Foundation. We have a member, one of their members is on their way, is not quite here, but can we, let's take a picture anyway. So y'all come on with your check. Yeah, we might get into some big.
Oh, man.
Up in there?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to share.
Good job.
Yeah, I didn't have lights, but I had warm water. That's a start.
And Jason.
Yeah.
Michelle was like,
Teasing you.
Okay.
My power went out. My gas was I had a warm shower.
Let's give everybody a second to get out of here.
Oh, that's funny.
Showered by
You got first world problem. That's what we had, first world
No,
problem.
that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
But it kind of makes me very appreciative.
All right, those of you that are staying, thank you. You all may not have heard me tell the people that were up here, there are people out in our county who saw the people up here as angels. This is really important. Their lives are better for what's happening because of people who came up here tonight and gave those contributions.
Yes.
So this is really super for us,
Yes.
and we truly appreciate what they did and the hard work they put into it.
What were the amounts that were just donated?
5,000, 20, and 10.
35.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
You guys.
item number 2. Chairman Davis has requested that Chief Polk, Chief Byrd, Jason Ritter from GEMA, and Michelle Rose from FEMA give an update on the disaster relief efforts in Spalding County. I think there's going to be a number of other people that are going to speak, but we'll just get the start of them. And at this time, Glenn, you want to kick it off, and then we'll get into it?
Yes, sir.
I want to make sure everybody understands, this is really about what resources are available that are for folks. So we're trying to get the people so everybody understands in TV land, hey, this is where I need to go, these are the people I need to see tonight. This is not a Chief Polk update on how that effort is going. This is really a FEMA talk on how that all's going. Okay, Chief Byrd?
Thanks, sir.
Chief Polk, excuse me.
No, thank y'all for the opportunity to come share with all the good stuff we do have going on. So in addition to everything that y'all already know about, we do still have our donated goods warehouse going, our volunteer call center and reception center going. That's really trying to be hands and feet for our community. But in addition to that, over and above, we have representatives from GEMA here every day. Jason Ritter has been right there with us day in and day out. But we also have Michelle Rose, who's been assigned to us by FEMA. And so she's going to speak to you guys about what we call the Disaster Recovery Center, or the DRC for short, and some of the obstacles they've been facing here in the county. And then we'll share some other folks we got with us.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. So everybody knows Ms. Rose is from Henry County, so she's a local person. She feels the pressure of what's going on in our county. This is not somebody who is not understood, does not understand our county and what's going on inside. Ms. Rose?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, neighbors, because we are neighbors. As he stated, I am Michelle Rose, and I'm out of FEMA Region 4 in Atlanta, and I am the Division Supervisor for Spalding County for this event. As most of you probably are aware, you've probably seen the signs outside. We have signs. FEMA services are here. They are available to governmental organizations, but most importantly, the individuals who are suffering from this disaster. We have a FEMA Disaster Recovery Center at the Senior Center right down the street. It's very, very nice. I'm going to go back and check out Henry County and make sure we give y'all some competition, because I'm going to be a senior at some point. I'm getting there real quickly. But at any rate, we have the Disaster Recovery Center there, and at that center you have FEMA representatives who can assist all of the individuals for applying for FEMA services. There's various programs that people can qualify for, and that's based on their status, whether they're a homeowner, they're a renter, things of that nature. In addition to signing up to receive FEMA assistance, they can also sign up for other organizations. We have a volunteer agency liaison that work with some of the volunteer agencies around, to include the Red Cross. They've been in very close communications with them. So we have that. We have other needs that can be assessed and can be provided to those who need them in the community. In addition to the Disaster Recovery Center, we also have a 1-800 number, which is 1-800-621-FEMA. That number is available for anybody to call in the declared areas, and they can apply for FEMA assistance on those and through that phone number as well. So if you can't get over to the recovery center, you can definitely call that number and apply for your assistance there. In addition, we have a FEMA mobile app, and it's available in the Apple Store, Google, all of those places. But there's an app that they can download, and you can utilize the app to sign up for FEMA services. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. We also have online disasterassistance.gov that they can go to and apply for that. And most importantly, for those who can't get around and may not have phone service, in the beginning, that was the issue here. They may not have had electricity phone. Most of us have cell phones now. If you can't charge it, guess what? No good. It's not like back in the day. So we have what we call disaster survival assistance teams. And what they do is they go out and they knock on doors and they help people. They can register people right there at that moment, get you registered for FEMA services. And in some cases, if I get specific calls, which I did last week, I think the lady was 94, 95 and wasn't able to get in and needed some assistance, no problem. She called to the EM's office. I got the address. I made a phone call. I had somebody knock on her door. She is now registered for FEMA services. So we're here to help. I'm your neighbor, so I'm really here to help. And I will go a long way to make sure that people get, any assistance that they qualify for. The bigger issue that we have had is we have people who apply for services. The first letter most likely will be a denial. The issue with that is when people get that denial letter, they just say, forget it. Some of them don't understand it. They read, but they're not really getting. All they see is denied, and they throw their hands up. So I encourage people not to do that. At that point, that is when I personally suggest that people see if we can get these people a way to get to the disaster recovery center. That way, the FEMA staff there can look at their application, can explain to them exactly what they need, and have them come, get what you need, and they can bring it back to that same center. So we're here for the long haul to help people get registered in any way we can. One issue that usually comes up, and it's not just for this disaster, I ran 4 vaccination centers, it was the same thing there. People get hesitant because this logo says Homeland Security. When they see that, they're like, I'm good. Don't want any parts of that, So I like to get it out there that although we are part of Homeland Security, just like ICE and other agencies, we do not have any arrest authority. We don't share information to get people arrested, any of that. That's not what FEMA is here for. We're definitely here just to provide assistance and help people recover from the disaster that they're dealing with. So that's the most important thing, just to make sure that they apply for the services. We do have we deal with people, when they see people knock on the door, they don't want to answer the doors. Nowadays it's kind of difficult, to convince yourself to open the door to a stranger. We can't take any pictures, but we all have these badges. So if you know someone that they know somebody came to their door without a FEMA badge, do not give them their information. Advise people of that. We have not had that problem here, but it has been a problem other places. So, but right now we're good on that. But just encourage people, if we're there, go ahead, open your door. We're here to help. We don't do any reporting to any agencies other than FEMA. Well, let me back that up. We do. If survivors come to FEMA and they apply for services there, we refer them to the SBA. Most people think SBA, that's businesses. SBA has services too that I'll let them explain that can also help the survivors get the assistance that they need. And once we refer them to SBA, it's very important that they follow up and they go to SBA. Don't just give up. Go to SBA, see what you qualify for. The worst thing they can tell you is no. So, we encourage, we work closely with the SBA to make sure that that is accomplished. But we really encourage people to come out, come to the DRC, talk to FEMA. If you don't understand it, let us explain it to you. We will work you through the process and explain every piece of paper that you do need. So, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm Rita Johnson. I'm with State Farm Insurance. So this is on behalf of all the other State Farm agents here. This is a question I want to have, particularly dealing with our renters, customers. So what we've been doing is we've been providing them their own declaration page to actually come to you all when they're sending their applications, because when they get that denial, because
Yep.
we don't pay for the home, just the contents and not the home, of those that actually have received those denial letters. Is that, we had to kind of formulate our own plan to do that, because we had people that were displaced, although they didn't have the coverage, they were coming to us, and so we were trying to filter them through. is
Right.
that okay to do that? Because a lot of times they
Yes.
don't talk to us directly.
Right.
FEMA does not.
And a lot of times, the denial letters will actually be because of insurance. FEMA is not allowed to duplicate any other service that, or assistance that a survivor receives. So we have to have some type of letter from the insurance company saying this is what is covered, this is what is not. But a lot of times, that's where people get confused, so they kind of let the ball drop at that
So
point.
rather than filing
But
a
it's-
claim and getting the denial letter, is what we try to avoid, if we provide them with the declarations page with their policy showing that they have a renter's policy and not a homeowner's policy. Because we really don't want them to file a claim if they don't have, I mean, that's,
Right.
they don't want to file, they shouldn't have to file a claim either if they don't have the coverage to do it.
Yeah.
And we've kind of run into that a little bit, so I was wondering if it, just providing them with their renter's information, taking it would be enough to say that, okay, we don't have a homeowner's, we have a renter's policy.
To be honest, I'm not really sure. Only thing I've ever heard is a denial. So I think I have your information. I
probably
can
do.
definitely check on
Okay.
that
All right,
and
thank you.
get back with you. So if you do just the declaration page. Okay.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Okay, thank you, Ms. Rose, we truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glenn, who's next?
We have a representative for the Small Business Association. He can give you some stats on people they've served so far, too.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'm Jim Accurso. I'm a public affairs specialist with the Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Resilience and Recovery. We are here in accord with FEMA. We occupy the Disaster Recovery Center here in Spalding. We actually have our trained customer service reps in the DRC, and we have a separate BRC that we offer here, that we have here in Spalding County. We have 6 of these in the 7 declared counties. And what people don't know is that when they are referred by FEMA, they do need, it's to their benefit to come over and talk to us about the loans that we offer. So we have physical damage loans for businesses up to $2 million. And we also have economic injury disaster loans for businesses up to $2 million. We do help homeowners and renters up to $200,000 for a homeowner for physical damage and for contents. And then a renter is eligible for a $40,000 up to for contents, including automobiles. We also do help nonprofits as well. It's to everyone's benefit when they do get the referral from FEMA to come and register with us. If they are found ineligible, they then can go back to FEMA for additional needs assistance. If they are found eligible, they are under no obligation to take the loan. But we do encourage them, again, to follow through on that. There is no fee for the loans that we offer. So again, we encourage everybody to come and see us. Now, to date, FEMA has referred 3,800 folks over to see us. Of those 3,800, 414 have applied for an SBA loan, and we have awarded 55 loans, and this is in Georgia, for more than $1.7 million. In Spalding County, 194 of those have applied, and we've approved 21 loans for $545,000. Now, we do expect these numbers to go up. We do want to encourage ways to get this information out. I'm working with, with the county, with the city. If we can maybe brainstorm on how we can get some information, additional information out, maybe in a utility bill or some other way, we would appreciate that. And folks need to know that we also offer help for mitigation. So down the line, if they wanted to reinforce their structure, say with a retaining wall or a sump pump, if they had flooding or the like, they can get additional benefits based on that. So again, we are here to help. We're here for the long haul. The deadline to apply for our physical damage loan is March 17th, and the deadline to apply for the economic injury loans is October 16th. So there's additional time for the business to assess that. So again, we're here to help, and we encourage everybody to come see us. And not only can they come and apply at our centers with one of our trained customer service reps, which is the preferred way, they can also apply online at disasterloanassistance.sba.gov.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay?
I've got some questions.
yes.
Me and Rita, as the business owners, are like, this is the guy we gotta talk
Yeah.
to. So several folks have come to me and said, hey, our firm, our business was closed for almost 3 weeks because of disaster, no power, having to go out and help others, or, and yet we still have the same payroll. We still have the same, this is, what are we going to do? And my initial was, well, we have those folks here in town, the SBA's
Right.
in town, but they've all almost said the same thing, which is, well, I don't want to take out a loan.
Okay.
Like, is there not like FEMA, is there, so maybe tell me what the process is, maybe.
So, very good question, Commissioner. They would come over there and they would talk to a customer service rep. We would take we need all their paperwork, normal paperwork as if they would, apply for a bank loan again, but these are not bank loans. Our loans are backed by the Treasury. We do encourage them to bring all of their financial information, everything that they would normally use when they apply. And then they will, the information goes in when the application is complete. It goes on up to the center, and they should get a determination within 2 to 3 weeks. If the loan is awarded, they could get a payout within another 5 days, and those are roughly around $25,000, the initial payments. Can be as high as, so for the economic injury, we're talking about the economic injury loans again, so a working capital loan, so they weren't able to make payroll, or they weren't able to pay their rent, or they weren't able to, meet any number of normal costs associated with running the business. We do encourage them to come in and consider an economic injury loan. They are very low interest, they're 3% or less. And right now, we're offering a 12-month deferral, so for the first payment, and throughout that period, they're interest-free. So there will be no accrued interest until month 13, and you won't have to make a payment for month 13. So we're, it's helping them, get up and running. And also the, it may take a while.
How large are those? How large can those be?
Those can be up to $2 million. The economic injury can be up to $2 million. I did make clear that if they get an economic injury loan and they also get a physical damage loan, it won't be $4 million, it will be a total of $2 million, okay? And there's one other point I was gonna make, but I hope I answered your question.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
All right. Any other questions by the commissioners?
Well, actually, you did, sorry, you did add, there was another question that struck me, what you were just saying, in like building retaining walls and strengthening the buildings and stuff. Is that the same type of loan? How does that work?
That's in addition to, so that's our outreach for mitigation. So if in fact, you get the loan, but you want to be able to, reinforce your structure, so that you don't have a situation where your property is damaged again, that can be up to 20% on top of the loan amount that's already awarded.
Okay. And but it would be the same terms, it just increases the amount that you would get.
Increases the amount, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Other things? All right. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jim, Chief Pope?
We've also been working a great partnership with TJ and his crews at Public Works, and they've been helping with all the debris cleanup as well. So TJ want to come up, and then he can introduce our emergency contractor for that.
Thank you, Glenn and Commissioners. To put some faces with names, we do have the two contractors that we've been working with in our audience. Spencer Stovall is with Debris Tech. Please stand and just make sure they see you.
Thank you.
And
send
Chris
back
Johnson is with SDR. And Chris is our debris hauler, and Debris Tech is the monitors that are monitoring and recording all the information for the FEMA reimbursement. Just a couple of facts. We're working on our first pass, and we're about 35% complete with that. We are currently, they have done over 127,000 cubic yards of debris. That's vegetation, so that's trees and tree limbs, and they've cut over 4,000 dangerous trees of some type up to date. Some other information is we will be doing a second pass. That'll be months away. We are also looking at what they call the leaners and the hangers, so trees that are leaning over the roadways. Hangers are pieces of tree that are hanging in the air that could be a danger. Some other information, they have passed up dead-end streets at this time. That's because the equipment needs to be broken down to back down those streets. They are coming back to those streets, and stumps will be last. They'll be last after the second pass. So some of the stumps may be out there for several months. We're going to provide you with a link. I've emailed it to the county manager that will allow you to watch the debris removal 24 hours a day. It gets updated every 15 minutes. And I've sent that to you, and you'll be able to see not only the hauls, so each truck, when they pick up a load, will be put on that map. Every tree that gets cut down is on that map as well, and it'll be updated every 15 minutes so that you can see where they are in the county. We've also discovered that some folks are calling in that they may be the one tree on a particular street. They were a couple roads off of the path. That is fine. If you let us know who those folks are, we're keeping a list of those, and we'll be forwarding those lists to our contractors so we can get those as well. Any other questions?
Hold on, now I've lost it.
We can bring you back up.
The amount that is being cut, and we're monitoring that for the reimbursement. And it's like 80% from the feds and then like 12% from the state or something.
Those will be numbers for folks behind me.
Okay, fair enough.
70, 12 and a half, 12 and a half.
70, 12 and a half, 12 and a half? Okay,
75, 12
all right, all right, okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
TJ. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
And that's all we brought with you tonight. You see,
Chief-
we got a lot of moving pieces.
Chief,
taking care
could you
of our
talk a
folks,
second about what's going on at the donation center?
Right, we went down from about, the visitations has dropped a little bit. So what we're trying to do is kind of downgrade our donated goods. Tonight, we're trying to extend our MOU with City Church, who's been phenomenal in taking care of our folks. And so we still have a lot of stuff there. So Jason has helped me reach out to our surrounding communities, because we were trying to set up a regional donated goods to help out our other fellow counties. And then, so we're asking them to see what needs they have. Can they come and get some goods for their community and our local missions as well. And so this week is going to be a big push to see how many people can come and take what they need for their folks and their organizations. And then Monday we'll determine whether we need to use the alternative warehousing that we've located with Cefcor that's been pre-approved. We're just waiting to see if we actually need it or not. Or we may have another option of the warehousing at Griffin Fire Station number 2, just depending on how much stuff we have that we can continue to push out even after this week.
Okay.
To be determined.
Thank you. Any other questions for Chief Polk? For everybody's knowledge, this is big business for everybody's knowledge, this is big business for us. This is a lot of money. To get the money back from FEMA, we have to do a great deal of documentation to be able to give to them what they want so that we can get the money back. We're talking about 30% of the money if we don't do it very well. And if we do it really, really, really well, maybe 3 to 5% is all we're going to lose out of our money from the disaster. 3 to 5% of our money is a lot of money that we had not built into the budget that we're getting ready to get into. So we're talking about significant money. That's why you'll hear us continue to talk about documentation, and trying to get all that stuff to be able to do it. How many volunteer hours, how much stuff is being picked up, how many food, how many pieces of equipment are all being done. So this is big business to us, and it's not just cleaning up. This is going to be money that a little later on in 8 or 9 months from now, when we talk about millage rate, tax rates, and stuff like that, is going to come back, and we're going to have to talk about how we're going to move forward with it. So I just give everybody a heads up on it. If you've got specific questions on how that's going to work and what has to be done, if you get with Chief Polk, you'll be able to understand the many hours that we've got to recruit, to put into the system. Anything on that, Chief?
No, that's you hit it all. We're definitely documenting, and we're getting with all our partners and all the great assets they've offered us during this time.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Anything else for Chief Polk? Okay, thank you much.
Thank y'all for your
God bless for what you're doing.
He hasn't let us brag about him very much yet. But let me tell you, going to those stand-up meetings and watching how amazingly well coordinated it was. Chief Byrd was bragging on him Saturday too. He wasn't even there, and it was, well, how do you respond in this kind of unprecedented disaster? You know how he goes right over and goes, oh yeah, I've already got the plan right here. Here it is. Boom. No, there's 159 counties in Georgia, and like 6 have the certifications for disaster preparedness and we're one of those 6, and it's this gentleman right here's fault, and we can't thank you enough. The coordination happened through him. He was the hive mind. Thank you.
Yes. Everybody who's in TV land or here, please get the word out to those that are less fortunate on how to help. We're here to help. There's a lot of resources for us, but people have got to be told. People have to understand what they can do. That was the purpose of Ms. Rose coming forward and speaking. All right. So thank you for all that. Item number 5, citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and the topic they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your comments to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with the individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertaining to the jurisdiction of this Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any commissioners during the citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speakers will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend the rule.
Mr. Chairman, first we have Greg McKibben signed up.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you.
Name and address, please. I'm
Oh,
sorry
yes,
for the...
699 Campground Road. It's in Griffin, of course. It's on the corner of Moon Road and Campground Road. The reason I'm coming before you is I want to bring to your attention what I consider a nuisance property. We've called numerous times. We've talked to the sheriff's office. Sheriff Dix, thank you for everything you've done. I know what I'm talking about for what he's done. I know the legalities that they have. I'm in public service also. I'm public safety. Our biggest problem is with code enforcement. We've called and called and called, trying to get them to take care of this property. We have residents that are living in campers with the sewage going straight into the ground. They have brought in storage sheds on flatbed trucks, dropped them. People are living in them. People are up and down our road on campground all hours of the night, four-wheelers, vehicles stopping at the front of this residence. Drug deals going on. We have gang members there. We have vehicles that are racing down the road. Gunshots, fireworks, dogs barking. I had been attacked by 2 pit bulls, and they picked them up. Nothing was done. This was on Memorial Day of last year, and I was not able to defend myself, and I most likely would have if I'd have had it with me. But Animal Control picked them up, turned them right back to them. They're still out there. 2 pit bulls out there. We're frustrated. And we call, nothing seems to happen, and now our neighbors are getting calls where they're being cited for having stuff in their yard that is nothing like what's going on next door. It looks like a junkyard. They have cars parked everywhere. They're not working on them. They're just sitting there, rotting, sitting on the wheels. So we're frustrated, and we're told, call 911. I feel like a 911 abuser. I call so much. And I'm in public safety. Have been for 42 years. Still am. Retired once and went back to work. So I understand what Sheriff Dix is facing. But the code enforcement, I've called state health, no return calls. But raw sewage running into the ground, small children over there playing in filth, dogs running loose, their own runs. The area looks bad, really bad from the road. My property values are gonna suffer. I am to the point of moving out of my house and leaving the county. And I've been here 16 years. And the sheriff's office, they do what they can do. If I call, they've got other calls that are probably more important. So I know we have to wait. It's a priority call.
Thank you, Greg. We appreciate it.
Okay.
DeAndre, would you please get his contact information so that we can follow up on that? We appreciate that. Thank you. All right.
Next is Nick Priest.
DeAndre, she's getting it from. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Nick Priest. I live at 700 Campground Road, directly across from Mr. Kibben, and directly next door to the nuisance property. And I wrote this letter. Hopefully I can get it in my 3 minutes. Dear Board, my name is Nick Priest. I've been a Spalding County resident for 43 years. I spent the last 23 years of those as a homeowner at 700 Campground Road. I wanted to address you guys tonight over the concern of my family's safety due to the living conditions and the lifestyle of the persons who reside right next door to me at 336 Moon Road. For the past several years, my other neighbors and I have made uncounted calls to the county sheriff's department about suspicious persons, suspicious activities, and the recklessness coming from 336 Moon Road. ATVs buzzing up and down Campground Road all times of the night, gunfire after 9 p.m., loud explosions, engines revving at 2 a.m., screaming, yelling, arguing in the wee hours of the morning, suspicious vehicles in and out of the property at all times of the day. I'm assuming for drug exchanges. These are just some of the issues that have Greg and I concerned. Do you guys know that all 10 people residing at Moon Road either live in a camper or a storage building with unpermitted electrical, unpermitted or no plumbing at all? I didn't see any signs out when all this stuff was going in. No permits. Junk, clothes, trash all over their property. 10 plus cars and trucks stuffed in the back corner of their property on my property line. I made 7 calls to code enforcement between May and November of last year. Finally, late last year, I got notified that the property owner had been issued a warning on 10/3/22. But here it is, 2/6/23. I've seen no visible changes at all. And I can provide pictures. I've actually sent some to Ryan. I had an unpleasant call with code enforcement last week, which I'm not going to bring up in this meeting. Everybody makes mistakes, and I kind of feel like there was a mistake made on both parts. So maybe it can be a learning experience for both of us. But I am very frustrated, very frustrated. The other issue I haven't mentioned are the dogs running loose, growling at my children, terrorizing them, attacking Mr. Kibben, entering my goat pen, attacking my goats, killed my 8-year-old daughter's pet goat. They took the dogs for 10 days, but they were right back. And when they got back, finally, on 10/31, they entered my goat pen again and killed 3 of my chickens.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
If you give your information to Ms. Morales in the back, your contact info, specifically phone number and stuff, and we'll be able to get back to you. Thank you.
Okay, I have copies of the letter if anyone wants.
If you give a copy to Ms. Morales, we'd appreciate it.
No one else has signed up to speak.
Okay, thank you. Item number 6, presentation of financial statement. Consider approval of the financial statement for the period ending December 31st, 2022. Ms. Garrison?
These statements are for December. We didn't have a second meeting in January, so that's why they're late.
Okay. Comments for her?
Motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Garrison, for what you're due. Item number 7, minutes. Consider approval of the minutes for the Spalding County Board of Commissioners extraordinary session and executive session on December 19th, 2022. The Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting and executive session on December 22nd, 2022. The Spalding County regular board meeting on January 3rd, 2023. And the Spalding County zoning public hearing on January 16th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the aforeread minutes for the meetings.
Thank you.
Spalding Board of Commissioners.
I have a motion. Do I have a motion and a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8, consent agenda. There are no items on the consent agenda for this evening. Item number 9, old business. To lift from the table and consider appointment to the Spalding County Board of Zoning Appeals to succeed Rob Penfoy for a 4-year term to expire on December 31st, 2027 from District 2, and Ed Brown from District 4 for the remainder of his term, which is scheduled to expire on December 31st, 2024. Do I have a motion to lift from the table?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Motion is, the motion has been lifted, the action has been lifted.
Mr. Chairman, since we tabled this, so I could have a chance to speak with him, because he was on vacation, we couldn't, when we tried to reach out, Mr. Purefoy would like to be reappointed to that. I don't, is his name?
He's not in the book.
He's not in the book?
No.
Okay. You'll have to have him reapply. Okay. All right.
There is somebody from District 4, though, right?
That's correct.
Yep, I'm going to replace Mr. Ed Brown with Adam Smith.
Okay. All right. We will, and that's a post-appointment, so it does not require anything else. All right. Item number 2?
So, Mr. Chairman, are we tabling Mr. Purefoy's?
Yes.
Motion to
appointment?
table
Yeah, 'cause
Mr. Rob Purefoy's 4-year, the appointment of someone to succeed Rob Purefoy for a 4-year term until the next meeting.
Yeah, and I'll get with Kathy when she gets back.
Yes, okay.
I didn't know he was.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? What?
It's a table.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Thank you. Motion carries. I'm going to get that right yet. All right, we're going to try it again this time. Lift from the table and consider appointment of the Spalding County Parks and Rec Advisory Board to succeed Chris Saxon for a 1-year term to expire on December 31st, 2023 from District 2, and to succeed Byron Styler for the 1-year term to expire December 31st, 2023.
Motion to lift from the table.
Second.
All right, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0.
These are position appointments, right? Post
Correct.
appointments.
Anybody in
I
the
believe they're both in the book now.
They are.
Annette White, who's the head of the Soccer Association, is the
Yep.
first.
Yes.
Yes.
And the second to replace Brian Styler is Taylor Dutton,
Yes. Yes.
former umpire.
Okay. All right. Those two are taken care of.
What's the last name? Dunn?
That's his brother.
Mr. Dutton, could you speak in the mic?
I'm sorry.
I could not get that. I'm sorry.
So, well, they're in the book, Annette White and Taylor Dutton.
Annette White and Taylor Dutton.
All right. Lift from the table and consider appointment to the Two Rivers RC&D Council to succeed Danny Meadows, who currently serves as the alternate member to this council.
Motion to lift.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Got it right that time. All right. Is there a name in the book?
Danny Meadows' name is in the book.
All right.
Motion to appoint Danny Meadows.
I have a motion to appoint Danny Meadows. Do I have a second?
That's not a chairman appointment, is it?
Second.
I don't think so. I think it's just a
Board.
board appointment. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Thank you. Here we go again. Lift from the table and consider appointments for the Spalding County Ethics Review Board. Do I have a motion to lift from the table?
It's not for me.
I don't have my stuff.
Yeah, me either.
Okay.
Well, you don't have a motion.
All right, thank you. We'll move on. We still have 4 commissioners that need to get their stuff. All you need to do is get your, they don't have to fill out a form. You just need a name, address, and their phone number.
She got most of
Sorry. Not
Okay.
everybody.
All right. Item number 5.
Motion to table.
All right, I have a
it. It's already tabled.
it's already tabled, so we don't have to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta wait on that.
Item number 9. Item number 10, excuse me. New business.
And there's a new.
Consider Flint Mill.
Did we not miss the development?
It was already tabled, and we just did not lift it from the table.
The development authority?
It's
Oh.
further down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
We haven't got that. New business. Consider approval of the Flint Mill Estate Phase 2 final plat. The final plat consists of 23 lots located within the R1 Single Family District. Ms. Morales?
Good
Good
morning,
evening.
Commissioners. Well, not good morning, good evening. Lord Jesus, it's been a
Yes.
day. So this is an approval for a final plat for Flint Mill Estates. It is 23 lots within this phase. They have pretty much gotten all the things that they needed to get done. So the conditional approval has been updated to an approval. They fit all the requirements for the final plat and the zoning requirements, so we are recommending an approval for the final plat.
Okay. Do I have a motion to
I
approve?
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And Niles Murray from Pilkington Murray is here to speak if anybody has questions for the developer.
Okay, I'm looking at, Eva, I'm looking at the overview of the development, and on item J, there's a reference to a buffer that's been disturbed. Is that a recent entry?
No, ma'am, that has been taken care of, and I apologize for that.
Okay, and then my second question is, on the page related to sewerage, it says this site is proposed to be serviced by the city of Griffin, but do we have a certificate from the city of Griffin stating that they have capacity?
No, we do not, but I'm sure I can get that certificate and get it
That's
ready
really
for you.
important.
Okay.
Because part of the process is that you're supposed to go through the water authority to make sure that the city of Griffin still has capacity, because this is since 2005.
Okay, all right. This went through review with the water authority, so it did go to Joseph, and Joseph did approve. This is a process that is done through what we call a plan review. So whenever a final plat comes into our office, we send it to plan review to all the departments that need to see it. One of them is water authority, and water authority did approve it.
But I understand what you're saying, but
Yes,
what
ma'am.
I'm also saying is that
This is from the
you
city.
don't know if there is sewer capacity.
Correct.
When this paper says the city of Griffin is proposed, that this is proposed to be serviced by the city of Griffin, that says nothing to me.
Okay.
Because things have changed a lot in, how many years? 15, 18, something. So, I have,
So if you would like, I can propose a conditional approval with the condition that they need to get that certificate from the city.
yeah, I
Okay.
think that-
Before recording the final plat.
Yes, I think it
Okay.
definitely needs to be a condition because we just don't know.
All right, are you making that motion?
I will make a motion that an additional condition be added to the staff recommendations requiring that the city of Griffin verifies that it has sewer capacity for these additional homes.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries.
All right,
Thank you, Ms. Morales. Consider presentation. Did you say so?
I was just thinking it would go.
Consider presentation and adoption of the Griffin Spalding County Comprehensive Transportation Plan with Coy Engineering will present, Croy Engineering will present the review, the final document, and answer any questions. Come on forward, sir. And we'll start off with Mr. Upson.
Yes.
To lead us into this.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to give you a little background on the plan, the reason we have it. I'm sure some of you had question why we keep doing study after study. This is a requirement from ARC in order to get in the queue for federal money and state money. So we have to have a plan, just like the comprehensive plan that you're having done or you had done. We have to have a comprehensive transportation plan. ARC asked us to do that. They funded this plan 80%. We were basically asked or told back in 2021 that we needed to have this done. So we created an RFP. We selected a consultant, and we selected Croy Engineering. So they started in July of 21 with the plan, and they're here tonight to give you a summary of the plan. Not a long version, but a summary. But this plan, basically, just to give you background, this plan has projects on it that have been determined to be prioritized, and there's some long-running projects that already were in the queue that were just carried over. But in order for us, when you have money, and if you get money collected through T-Splost or whatever sources, that you can start matching projects, and usually that's 30%, 20% on a project. Say it's a $10 million project. You have to have that match available before you can apply for that project. And once you have that match, then you can go and get the project funded through ARC or GDOT. So I would encourage you in the future to start looking at T-Splost projects or T-Splost monies to be set aside for match. That's the only way we're going to do bigger projects, is to have that match. So this plan is the beginning of that process. So Matt Reeves, Dan Dobry is under the weather tonight, so Matt Reeves is going to do the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, Matt, come forward.
All right. Thank you for that. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Matt Reeves with Croy Engineering. So we helped lead the consultant team that did the comprehensive transportation plan study. So I believe the report has already been sent out to each of you. So
Yes.
you can look over. So I'll go over it pretty quickly. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer it. Do I have you do the next? Or- Well, I'll just look over
You can
those.
tell me next and I'll move it.
Yeah, I'll just say it.
Okay.
All right. So as an overview of what I'm just discussing, highlighting the team and the background that we did to go into this plan, we looked at the existing conditions here in Spalding County and the city of Griffin. We engaged the public in this effort to see their feedback on recommendations and projects that they are concerned about. Then we reviewed all of the projects available and scored them based on the priorities of the county and city to come to a list of recommendations of those projects. So as Brian Upson mentioned, the CTP overview, this sort of effort from the public engagement to involving the county and city staff in this effort is what is necessary when you are applying for federal monies from TIP or getting into the TIP application. So from ARC or GDOT, this type of background effort is what's necessary in order to engage them for that dollars. If you go to the next ones. When reviewing the existing conditions for the city, we looked at the comprehensive transportation plan done in 2016 and 2011, as well as the citywide comprehensive plan that looks at land use, as well as other previous studies. So we're not duplicating any of their efforts in this process. And so in that study, we looked at the levels of service for the county. So level of service is typically the wait time that you spend when you're driving down a road. So if you are delayed at red lights or stop signs, just the amount of time that you are delayed there. And so we projected that using our models into the future. And most of the delay is happening around State Route 155, connecting into 16, and then up and along US 1941 as well, which, I mean, I think everyone in the area knows. I grew up in Pike County, so even I am aware of all of that. If you go to the next one. In this study, we also did a crash analysis of where crashes are happening in the county. So one of the highlights of the priorities for the comprehensive transportation plan is impacting safety. So we want to make sure that intersections that are proposed as project recommendations are going to improve the safety for the individuals who are using those intersections. Like I said, we have to engage the public, so we engage the general public as well as the project advisory groups, so selected members of the community who are business leaders or otherwise engaged in the transportation network. So TJ, who's back there, was involved in this as well. So we have the list of the number of participants. The last one down there, the community survey, included the project recommendations, and that was posted online, and there were over 800 visitors who went and viewed that website and viewed those project recommendations and could provide comments. So props to the Sycamore Consulting who did that work and engaging the public in there as well. All right, next one. As I mentioned, each of the projects were scored based on the priorities of the comprehensive transportation plan. So we looked at the safety, the capacity, state of good repair, so maintaining what is existing, the conditions for freight travel in and through the county, as well as multimodal opportunities for bike and pedestrian improvements. All right. And in that process of prioritizing the projects, we looked at the available funding that Griffin and Spalding have had in the past for projects, and we use that to gauge how much would typically be available on a 5-year timeline, and then the midterm, which would be the next 10 years afterward, and then the final long-term timeline of 2040 to 2050 10-year timeline. So we processed how much money has been gathered through SPLOST and T-SPLOST, as well as the already committed federal and state programs that are being committed into the county. And so just to highlight some of the projects that we are recommending in the short term for bridge projects, Camp Road and Potato Creek, Wildwood Road and Bear Creek, and Jenkinsburg Road and Towaliga River, where it crosses.
Close enough, close enough.
Okay.
We understand.
All right, we can go to the next one. Looking at new capacity and new roadway projects. For the short term, it's focused more on signal optimization in the downtown area, making the signals connect, and so their timing is better. And then in more of the midterm to long term, it is the State Route 155 relocation out of the downtown south over down towards the Ingalls down there. So we have a map of that in the next slide. But in that report, there are identified maps of all of these projects. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Next one. Like I said about intersection projects, in the short term, the highest priority are those that can be achieved quickly to improve the safety of those who are driving and passing through those intersections. And then in the long term, it's looking more at freight and operations management. So as freight continues to grow over on the east side along 16, getting those freight traffic off of 75 and into their destinations as quickly as possible. All right. Next one. For active mobility projects, the majority of them are sidewalks in and around the downtown area of Griffin. They are prioritized based off of connecting existing sidewalk infrastructure. So we close in those gaps so that individuals don't have to switch from sidewalk to grass back onto sidewalk. And then long-term looking at recreational multi-use trails around the area. And then in the final recommendations, looking at future studies, new road to access the incoming airport. So how that's going to be connected and impact to the existing infrastructure and the existing traffic patterns. And then a final analysis on the southern bypass, how that's going to impact the traffic of those intersections as it is moved south of the downtown and up and back around over to 16. Do I have any questions?
I do. Next to the last slide maybe that you had, in the summary, talking about, well, not the bypass, I think it was the one before that. Yeah, Jenkinsburg Road. I don't remember, I know there's been conversation about that, but I also wonder, in our future looking at this stuff, is that the I-75 Corridor Coalition is talking about something of this same sort, and I'm just wondering if this is where we need to step in when we talk about Jenkinsburg Road, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel all over. I read the summary on this. I was very pleased with that. It made it clear, and you can see this by looking at the maps, we don't have very much in terms of east-west continuity. So clearly, you know, that's a low-hanging fruit if we have any. It addresses our intermodal transportation, talking about setting up transportation for the community, but clearly we'll have to have a plan. Even though this is the comprehensive plan, we'll have to have a game plan for moving forward in any direction. But I'm pleased with it.
Okay. Any other comments from any other commissioners? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it. Great effort. Item number 3, consider appointment to the Griffin Spalding County Development Authority to succeed Harvey Booker for the 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2025.
And his name is next in the book,
His
right?
name is in the book.
Motion to appoint Harvey Booker for a 3-year term.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion?
He's
All
doing
those-
great.
Yes. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Consider appointment to the Atlanta Regional Commission to succeed Gwen Flowers Taylor for 1-year term ending December 31st, 2023. Commissioner Flowers?
How often do they meet? Once a year.
Uh,
Brian, how often does ARC meet?
They meet monthly, but a lot of times it's on Teams.
Okay, so you can do it on the phone. Okay, I'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you. One more time, thank
And
you.
That's just your appointment. You just appoint, right?
Yes,
Like, we don't
yes,
vote on
yes. All right. Consider appointment to succeed Clay Davis as the ACCG Legislative Coordinator for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2023.
it. And that's also just your
Mr. Chairman,
appointment,
you
right?
want to continue doing that?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Clay Davis as the ACC Legislative Coordinator for 1-year term ending December 2023.
Hold on, isn't that just a chairman's appointment?
Nah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
But I'll second.
Okay.
I just-
I have a motion. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. I've done that for the last 2 years, and I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah. Consider the first reading of the amendment to the Spalding County Code of Ordinances to update the list of roadways, both on-system and off-system, as provided by the Georgia Department of Transportation and approved by the Board of Commissioners at the extraordinary session on December 19th, 2022. This is putting it into the ordinances. Last time we approved it, this moves it into the ordinances.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendment to the Spalding County Code of Ordinances related to the list of roadways, both on-system and off-system, as provided by Georgia DOT.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
We want to bring up once again, not to speak for Ms. Gwynn, but it doesn't make any sense that they would ask us to vote for something that we have no say in, no control over, and a vote yes or no does nothing, but they've asked us to vote on this. So here we go.
Thank you for your comment. Did we, have we?
Come on, well, nothing happens.
All right, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, thank you.
I mean,
Item number 7, consider approval of the proposed FY 2024 budget calendar. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the 2024 budget calendar.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
it's the same as last year.
Yeah, it's the same as last year,
Yeah, it was
just
the
change
same
the
as last
year.
year. Do we have, I mean, as far as, you probably have it on here, haven't seen it yet, I don't think so, those dates, do we have those dates on there?
So are we getting
your calendars
started late doing this, or we?
Mi-
I'm
Miss-
looking at y'all, but I'm deer in
Miss
the
Ga-
headlights.
Ms. Garrison met with the people today,
Okay,
the
she's
directors,
already
and
doing-
got the word out to exactly what she wants from them, and they have
I
moved
think we
forward.
usually do it in May, I wanna say.
Yeah, it's like the second week of May, right?
Okay,
Okay.
all right, yeah.
All right.
All right,
Before we all go on vacation next week.
all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Budget calendar is approved.
Okay.
Consider participation in the Coalition Against Bigger Trucks, CABT. This matter is being considered in the state legislature on the truck weights issue for the counties, and have asked Spalding County to support this effort. Anything you want to say?
Only that the Coalition Against Bigger Trucks actually reached out to Commissioner Dutton, and you've all seen and approved the letter in its basic form, so we've just added it to letterhead for the chairman to sign.
Essentially, we've been facing just a Sisyphean task here. We're rolling this ball up the hill, and it keeps rolling down the hill. And it's our roads. Our roads constantly get broken by trucks, overweight trucks, lumber trucks, smashing the roads up, but not immediately, right? They're not burning rubber and it breaks. It's these little tiny cracks that you can't see, and then 6 months later, now everyone goes, well, why are all these potholes there? Because 6 months, a year ago, a truck overweight drove over this a few times and it smashed the road to pieces. And here we are, we've been asking the state, hey, help us with this, help us with this, help us with this. And now the state has actually dropped a bill to increase the weight limits on trucks. They're not just not lowering them like we're asking, there's a bill to increase them, which is a slap in the face.
Right.
And they go, well, we're giving you money to help fix the roads, not nearly enough to even keep the patches on them, much less the amount of damage that would be done, because the weight exponentially damages roads. So if it goes up, it's not just a little more, it's a lot more damage, even for just a little bit more weight. So this group is trying to coordinate the effort to push back on that. And they've done it in other states. And when they contacted me, I jumped right on it and said, yes, let's
So
get
is this a
involved.
group of counties all doing it together, or is it just?
So this group is a non-profit, I think it's a lobbying group, like,
They are a lobbying group, that's
but they
correct.
are coordinating a bunch of the counties that are like, please don't do this to our roads.
And Chairman Davis also reached out to ACCG. They're familiar with this group as well.
You think that'll carry some weight?
I
If
think
enough
every
is
little
done.
thing that you can do.
And Lauren Daniel who's one of our representatives, is on the Transportation Committee. And I have talked to her, and then sending this letter from us gives her weight to be able to stand up and fight for what we want.
Community appointment the first year. Wow, good for her.
Yes, yes, already. All right, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, thank you. Item number 9, consider approval of a request from Griffin Spalding Hospital Authority to provide funding for the following projects for FY 2023. Spalding County Board of Health flu shots for $22,000. Spalding County Senior Nutrition Program Meals on Wheels for $48,800. And the Griffin Spalding School System School Nurses for $230,000. In order for the hospital authority to grant the funding to the city commissioners, and the county commissioners must give their approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. And thank you to Mr. Upson for what his work is on the hospital authority and getting this kind of money out to our community. Item number 10, consider approval for extension of the Southern District Recovery Contract from debris removal until February 27th, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, this is something that we discussed at our last meeting and was actually included in our emergency resolution, but both our GEMA and our FEMA representatives have encouraged us to also bring it before this body again to specifically approve the extension of this contract. TJ is here and can talk about the letter that we're also going to be sending, which documents the need for this extension, and also his crew took some great pictures of some of these hangers and leaners and these lines and trees that are in the road.
Yep.
So what do you need for us to do?
What we need for you to do is just approve the extension of the contract with our debris removal company, SDR, until February the 27th.
And he was in the, company president was in the stands tonight.
Yes, Chris was here.
Chris was here.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
You do.
Motion and a second.
Can TJ tell them about the letter too?
Okay,
We want
TJ,
it-
tell us
we-
about the letter.
Yeah, we want this to be on the record, please.
TJ.
The letter specifically addresses the specific safety items that FEMA would require us to execute this extension. Specifically, as you can see from the pictures, the debris is in such quantity that it is actually encroaching on our white lines in a majority of our affected roads. You will also see that we have tremendous amount of trees that are what they call leaners, which are leaning at 30 degrees or greater over our roadways, and then the hangers that can come down at any time. We feel as though it's appropriate to continue to contract until you consider the bid for the permanent contract so that we can keep on maintaining safety of our residents when they're on our roadways.
So, just comment, we officially extended it until the 27th of February anyway, didn't we?
We have not yet signed that.
We did that. We
Contract.
did it via emergency.
It was part of
Okay,
our
so we're
emergency
just under regular
declaration.
business.
Yes.
Okay. All right, do we need a motion? Or
Yes.
TJ,
I
did
got-
we
I got
let you
You
finish
have a
talking?
motion on the table.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you.
Wow.
There is no report from the county manager. Item number 12.
Here he's doing better.
He is. He is doing better. Tomorrow, he has another doctor appointment, and we will find out
We'll be praying for him.
where we're going from there. All right. Report from the commissioners. Ms. Johnson?
Okay, and that's the first thing I want to comment on. Continued prayers for our county manager. And I know that he is eager to come back to work. But I think, we should allow him, as I know we will, the time to recover. so that he can get better, so that, it's not in a situation where he has to, revisit this again. So, Steve, we want you to get better, and we want you to stay home, and come back when the doctor has released you. I'd like to, of course, just say thank you to the volunteers, that handled this terrible tornado. Also for the groups that were actually here to make the donations, which is much appreciated. And I can just kind of say from where I sit here, in the insurance business, that I feel good about where we're moving and what phase we're in right now, as far as, I hate to call it recovery phase, but moving in the right direction. So I'd kind of like to say thank you to FEMA and all those that came out that are actually providing other services, to our customers. And mainly the reason why I was bringing up the denial letter is that would prolong the process if they're waiting for denial letters from us. Agents can't write the denial letter for them. So in order for them to get their funds quickly, we would prefer that, they use other means instead of that. And, I know that we did cancel the King holiday scheduled, so I'd like to kind of see that get back on the calendar soon.
Yes.
So that we can kind of, celebrate that when it's appropriate. We know it's not
Postpone,
appropriate yet, because we're not
postpone.
ready yet.
Yeah.
But I know that eventually, that, we may want to consider that, as well as all the other things that we've kind of postponed. And, retreat dates. We're going to be talking about that, right, pretty soon? We kind of tabled that, and we went back and forth with some things.
We're going to hold off on that specific date depending on the county manager's return, and we will discuss some of that when I want to talk about a workshop, and we'll work the dates out on that depending on when the county manager is back.
We've got our priority list, as we know, code enforcement and other things that are priority on those things.
Yes, and
So
we
the
need
sooner
to
the
sit
better.
down and work those ourselves.
That's it for me.
Okay? Commissioner Bolden?
Code enforcement, like you said, big issue with me. I would like to sit down with the sheriff maybe toward the end of the week or first of next week or something, just brainstorm, and, 'cause I know the whole Marshall Webb thing left a bad taste in everybody's mouth with this, and I'd just like to find a way just to get it moving, 'cause right now we're at a dead stop. And like the people out there on campground, I mean, they shouldn't have to live like that. Second, I would just like to tell Eva and everybody in community development to keep it up. They're doing an awesome job up there right now, considering what they've been through the last couple of weeks, and just want to recognize them. I mean, that group up there right now, any time I've ever had a question, I can call them and it's answered right away. And they seem like they're more knowledgeable than the person that was over them at the time. So, thank y'all.
Okay?
If I could just add really quickly, they do really deserve as many pats on the back as you can give them, and they're working very hard.
They're in a deep hole. We're trying to dig them out. All right? Commissioner Flowers Taylor?
Well, you should never have said that. We're in the same hole with them. I got
Yes.
nothing.
Okay. Vice Chair?
I've got a couple bullet points. Same thing, those thank yous. There's just so many for so many folks. The folks that came tonight, money where your mouth is, right there. That was it. That was it. I'm gonna revisit, one more big thank you. The folks at the animal shelter, not just the volunteers, but our employees, have really knocked it out of the park over there. I mean, it's been a bad situation, and all the extra animals that have been, there and in the overflow places, and but they've really, really, really done a great job in the circumstances. But I'm going to circle back around to a few stuff that I don't want to get lost. We've really got to keep focusing on how we're going to get a new judicial center. I don't want us to lose focus on that. I was out at the jail this week and then twice last week. I'm not throwing the sheriff under the bus. He's doing a fantastic job with the piece of equipment that he has out there, if that's what you want to call it. But the lobby, there's a tub in the lobby that to catch the water that's dripping from the ceiling. And it's like, something's got to be done. Again, the sheriff's doing the best he can with what he's got out there, but like, that building must be replaced. It's not okay. And then the same thing on what Commissioner Bolden said, code enforcement. There's got to be some solution here. There's got to be a way to move forward. It's in the budget. We just need the methodology to be able to act there. And we have people that are conscious of that they can exploit the system right now, and they're doing it actively on purpose and just flouting it, and it's not okay. That feeds right into raise the bar. We talked about this at the last meeting. We've got, even though we've got a moratorium for new ask, how many people currently have pending or approved buildings that are going up? And our building code is literally, it's just the internationally building code, which is effectively nothing. It's nothing. Like, it's like, hey, is your house gonna blow over if the big bad wolf pulls on it? No? Well, then you're good. Like, that's, we've got to step up there. I know that Gwen's been asking for it a long time. I've been asking for it for 5 years. And if I know that everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. I know community development's got a lot of stuff going on. Our county manager, county attorneys, and that's okay. They're doing their jobs. But if we don't have the bandwidth, we need to hire this one out, and we need to bring in somebody who can redo this code so that we can approve it. Like, this is a big deal. We've been asking for it for years and years and years. I'm not mad at any individual, but we got to get it done.
You actually did hire a consultant, Civic Plus / Muni Code, and the last correspondence that the county manager and I had from them, I believe, was that the person that was supposed to be working on our stuff left, and it would be another 2 or 3 months.
Well, we'll scratch them off the list for next
Yeah.
time. All right, and the last thing is, prayers work. We saw it in the storms. Nobody died because as soon as the tornado hit, everyone hit their knees and prayed to save them. No one died. And prayer works, prayer works, prayer works. Please join me in praying for Dr. Ledbetter and his quick return. And hopefully he'll get the message that he needs to take a little bit more time off and not work himself near to death like he was doing. So, all right, that's all I've got.
For Dr. Ledbetter, message should be getting clear.
That's right.
Thank you. I'd like to talk for a second about Archway. Archway's going to come up to us probably this summer. I want to make sure everybody understands at least my views on Archway. I think that the return on investment for Archway, just the ROI alone, $60,000 versus $250,000 that we get back from them, is absolutely significant. I think that the forcing function of us getting together and working as a county towards common goals is very significant, and we need that forcing function to happen. I'd also at this time like to thank Ms. Wyndham for 8 years of co-chairing that organization and moving us light years ahead of where we were when we started 8 years ago.
Amen.
Yeah, it was absolutely great.
Yes, very good
Yeah,
job.
that is, for those of us that are involved, that's, on the disaster issue, it is going so well, it's almost spooky. It is really, really going well. Here we are, we have a donation center that is loaded with food that we're going to be able to do other stuff with, that has just came in, 18-wheelers and everything else. Volunteers, our own Commissioner Dutton had 300 weekend before last, 200 this weekend, volunteers coming in to do that kind of stuff. That is just phenomenal. The amount of people who are out helping strangers, friends helping friends. It is phenomenal on what we're doing in the unincorporated areas, and I am most appreciative of it. I'd like to work a calendar. What I thought I would really try to do right now is ask Charlie to send out a doodle poll to all of us. I'd like to, as soon as we can, meaning next week or the week after for sure, get a workshop for about 3 hours to talk about budget, our thoughts, where we're trying to go with the budget before the county manager even gets back, so that we can say, these are the guidance that we're providing to him. And I want to talk about staffing and personnel issues in a broader picture. So when Charlie sends out the doodle poll, please, as soon as you can, turn around and let's get that scheduled so that we can turn around and get it done. All right?
Chairman, I think we should also have a conversation at some point in time with the other commissioners regarding archways. And I know your position on it, but, to see, what that may look like for the other governments, because that's gonna be very important as we move forward.
You're talking about here? You're
Yes,
talking-
us,
these-
yes.
Yes, okay, then we'll pick to also talk through that on the
Right.
workshop. So we're going to talk budget, which is principally prioritization as far as I'm concerned, and making sure that Jenna's moving us in the right direction until Dr. Ledbetter gets back. We'll talk about staffing, our prioritization of what we want to do for staffing, and then we'll talk about Archway and our direction as a board for where we want to go on that.
Right.
Anything else that needs to be added to that list? And if
Angel Jackson is preparing a PowerPoint presentation right now that's gonna be available in a couple of days, that just supplements that one pager for Archway.
Okay. Anything else? All right. County Attorney?
Yes, sir.
Acting County Clerk? All right. All those, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
And second, all right. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0, we're adjourned.
I didn't say thank you to DeAndre too on the Facebook pages. They look
Oh,
really
yeah,
good.
Yeah, yes.
Really good.
Killing it.
Okay, Rita, 7:30.